My girlfriend said, "My friends think you're just dead weight." I nodded. "Then don't carry me." I left without arguing. What one of them said right after made her smile disappear instantly. I'm 34, been in a relationship for 2 years, and I just learned that sometimes the fastest way to lose someone is to let them think they've already won. My girlfriend and I met through a mutual connection at a networking event. She was 31, ambitious, worked in corporate sales, always surrounded by a tight circle of friends from her college days. I do freelance graphic design and consulting, which means my income fluctuates but averages out well over the year. Some months are incredible, others are slow. It's the nature of the work. The first year was solid. We'd spend weekends exploring the city, trying new restaurants, traveling when we could. Her friends were always around, which was fine initially. They were loud, opinionated, and treated every gathering like a competition for who had the best story or the most impressive life update. I didn't love the dynamic, but I tolerated it because she seemed happy. Around the 1-year mark, things started shifting. Her friends began making comments. Small digs at first, easy to brush off. Must be nice to have such a flexible schedule. Wish I could just work from home whenever I wanted. Do you ever wear anything other than jeans? Always delivered with a laugh, always just ambiguous enough to deny if I called it out. My girlfriend would laugh along, sometimes even add her own comment. He's very laid back about work. He's not really a suit and tie kind of guy. It bothered me, but I figured it was just her way of fitting in with them. Then about 6 months ago, the comments got sharper. One of her friends, the ringleader of the group, started openly questioning my career during dinners. "So you're basically unemployed between projects? Must be tough not having stable income. Don't you worry about the future?" I'd answer politely, explain how freelancing works, mention my client roster and project pipeline. Didn't matter. They'd already decided I was beneath them. My girlfriend would stay quiet during these exchanges, or worse, she'd change the subject in a way that felt like agreement. I started declining invitations to group hangouts, told her I had work deadlines, which was often true. She'd go without me, come home later and later, sometimes not until after midnight. I'd ask how it went. She'd give vague answers. It was fine. Just the usual. You didn't miss anything. Last month, things came to a head. She came home from a friend's birthday party around 1 a.m. I was still up, working on a client project with a tight deadline. She walked in, clearly tipsy, and sat down heavily on the couch. "We need to talk about something." I saved my work and turned to face her. "Okay, what's up?" "My friends think you're just dead weight." I felt something cold settle in my chest. "Excuse me?" "They think you're holding me back, that I'm supporting you emotionally, and you're not contributing equally to the relationship." "Supporting me how exactly?" "You know what I mean. I'm the one with the stable job. I'm the one who plans everything. You just kind of exist." I stared at her. "Is that what you think or what they think?" "Does it matter? They see things I might not see because I'm too close to it." "So your friend's opinion matters more than your own experience in this relationship?" "That's not what I said. But they have a point. You don't have ambition like I do. You're content, just floating along. I have clients who pay me well for specialized work. I have a career, it just doesn't look like yours. When did that become a problem?" "It's always been a problem. I just didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to hurt you." "But you're fine saying it now?" "I'm being honest. They helped me see that I deserve someone who matches my energy, someone who's going places." I nodded slowly, felt weirdly calm. "Then don't carry me." "What?" "If I'm dead weight, stop carrying me. Problem solved." "That's it? You're not going to fight for us?" "Fight for us? You just told me your friends convinced you I'm worthless and you agreed with them. What exactly am I fighting for?" "You're twisting my words." "Am I? Because it sounds like you've decided I'm not good enough and you're using your friends as cover for your own doubts." She started backpedaling. "I didn't say you're not good enough. I'm saying we might not be compatible long term." "Okay, so let's not be." "You're just giving up?" "No, I'm accepting what you just told me. You don't respect my career. You don't respect how I live my life. Your friends don't respect me at all and you've let that influence you. There's nothing to fight for here." I stood up, went to the bedroom, started packing a bag. She followed me, suddenly panicked. Where are you going? Hotel tonight. I'll find a sublet this week. We can figure out the logistics later. You're seriously leaving over one conversation? This wasn't one conversation. This was months of small cuts that you finally admitted were intentional. I'm just saving us both time. This is ridiculous. You're being dramatic. Maybe, but I'm also being honest. You want someone who matches your energy and ambition? Go find them. I'm not going to spend another year being compared to your friends' boyfriends and found lacking. I finished packing, grabbed my laptop and work stuff. She was crying now, saying we should talk more, that she didn't mean it the way it sounded. I walked past her to the door. Tell your friends they won. I left before she could respond. Update 1, I stayed at a hotel that night, barely slept, kept replaying the conversation, analyzing every word, wondering if I'd overreacted. By morning, I'd convinced myself I'd made the right call. If someone tells you who they are, believe them. She told me I wasn't enough. Everything after that was just noise. I found a month-to-month sublet by Wednesday. Small studio, furnished, downtown, not ideal but functional. Started moving my stuff out of her apartment over the next few days when she was at work. Left my key on the counter on my last trip. Texted her it was done. She called immediately. Can we please talk face-to-face? Not sure what there is to talk about. I was drunk. I was upset about work. I took it out on you. I didn't mean any of it. Which part didn't you mean? The dead weight part? The part where your friends think I'm not good enough? Or the part where you agreed with them? All of it. I was just venting frustrations and it came out wrong. For 6 months? What? Your friends have been making comments about me for 6 months. You've participated in those comments. This wasn't one drunk night. This was a pattern. She went quiet. Then, I know I've let them influence me too much. I know I should have defended you more. I'm sorry. I appreciate that. But sorry doesn't fix the fact that you let them convince you I'm inadequate, that you believe I'm holding you back. I don't believe that. Not really. Then why say it? Because they kept saying it and I started wondering if they were right. But they're not. I know they're not. How long did you wonder? How long were you comparing me to their boyfriends and deciding I didn't measure up? She didn't answer. That's what I thought, I said. I hope you find someone who meets their standards. I'm done trying. I hung up. She texted me over the next few days. Long paragraphs about how she'd messed up, how she wanted to fix things, how she'd talk to her friends and set boundaries. I read them all, didn't respond. Then, about a week after I moved out, I got a message from an unknown number. This is her friend, the one from college. We need to talk. Call me. I almost deleted it, but curiosity won. I called. Thanks for calling back, she said. She sounded different than at the parties, less performative. What do you want? I wanted to apologize and explain something you should know. I'm listening. That night, after you left the apartment, she came back to the party, told us what happened. She was upset, crying, saying she'd ruined everything. We were all supportive at first, telling her it would be fine, you'd come back. Okay. Then one of the other girls, the one who's been the hardest on you, she said something. She said, well, now you can finally date someone worth your time. Like you leaving was this great opportunity. Sounds about right. But here's the thing. Your girlfriend froze, like completely shut down. She looked at this girl and said, what did you just say? And the girl repeated it, all proud of herself. Said now she could find someone with real ambition, real success, someone who matched her level. And your girlfriend just stared at her. Then she said very quietly, I just lost someone I love because I listened to you. The whole room went silent. Then she left. Just walked out. I followed her. I didn't say anything. We talked in the parking lot. She broke down, said she'd been letting us poison her against you for months, that every time we made a comment, she'd defend you less and question you more, that she'd started seeing you through our eyes instead of her own. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm part of the problem. We all are. We judged you for not having the same corporate ladder lifestyle we have, for being content with your work, for not performing ambition the way we expect men to perform it, and we pressured her until she broke. She's an adult. She made her own choices. I know. I'm not excusing her, but I wanted you to know that she regrets it. Really regrets it. And I wanted to apologize for my part in it. Apology noted. Doesn't change anything. I know. But for what it's worth, I looked you up after all this. Your client list is impressive. Your portfolio is incredible. You're not dead weight at all. You're just not conventional, and we couldn't see past our own narrow definition of success. Thanks, I guess. She misses you. She's been miserable. Won't stop talking about how she messed up. Not my problem anymore. Fair enough. I just thought you should know the full context. She hung up. I sat with that information for a while, felt vindicated and sad at the same time. Update 2. Over the next few weeks, I focused on work. Landed 2 new major clients. One project alone was worth more than 3 months of my usual income. Funny how that happened right when I had the mental space and time to pursue bigger opportunities. My ex kept trying to reach out. Texts, calls, even showed up at a coffee shop she knew I frequented. I saw her through the window, pretended not to, went to a different place. Childish maybe, but I wasn't ready to talk. Then, about a month after we split, I got invited to speak on a panel at a design conference. Small event, but well regarded in the industry. I almost declined, but my mentor convinced me it would be good exposure. The panel went well. Afterward, I was networking, exchanging contact info with potential clients. That's when I saw her. She was there with her company. They'd sponsored one of the vendor booths. We made eye contact across the room. She started walking toward me. I considered leaving, but that felt cowardly. So I waited. Hey. Hey. I didn't know you'd be here. You were great on the panel. Thanks. Awkward silence. She looked tired, thinner than I remembered. How have you been? She asked. Busy. Got some good projects going. That's great. I'm glad. More silence. People were milling around us, the conference buzz filling the gaps in our conversation. I've been wanting to talk to you, she said. I know. I've been avoiding it. Yeah, I noticed. Look, can we get coffee or something? Somewhere quiet? I thought about saying no, about walking away and keeping the clean break, but I was curious, and maybe still hoping for something, though I didn't want to admit that. Sure, there's a place across the street. We left the conference, walked to a quiet cafe, ordered drinks we didn't really want, sat across from each other in a corner booth. I'm sorry, she started. I've said it before, but I need to say it again. I was wrong. About everything. About how I treated you. About listening to my friends. About not seeing your value. Okay. Is that all you're going to say? What do you want me to say? That it's fine? It's not fine. You told me I was dead weight. You let your friends tear me down for months. You made me feel like I wasn't enough. I know. And I hate myself for it. I've spent the last month realizing how much I took you for granted. How good you actually were to me. Past tense. Were. She flinched. Yeah, were. Because I ruined it. So what now? You apologize and we're supposed to go back to normal? No. I don't expect that. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. How wrong I was. How much I let other people's opinions matter more than my own experience. You were never the problem. I was. Your friends were. My friends were part of it. But I'm the one who listened. I'm the one who let their judgment become my judgment. That's on me. I sipped my coffee. I looked happy when you first saw me today, at the conference. Did you notice that? Yeah. That's because I am happy. Or at least, I'm getting there. I'm not walking on eggshells wondering if I'm successful enough, or ambitious enough, or impressive enough for someone else's standards. I'm just doing my work and living my life. I'm glad. You deserve that. So do you. But you're not going to find it if you keep letting your friends define your worth and everyone else's. I know. I've actually been distancing myself from them. Since that night. Since I realized what they'd done to my perception of you. Good. They sound toxic. They are, or at least that dynamic is. I don't know if I can fix those friendships or if I even want to. We talked for another hour. About what went wrong, about what we could have done differently, about whether there was any path forward. By the end, we both knew there wasn't. Too much damage, too much resentment on my side, too much guilt on hers. I hope you find someone who sees you the way you deserve to be seen. she said, as we stood to leave. I hope you learn to see yourself clearly instead of through other people's eyes. We hugged briefly, awkward and sad. Then we went our separate ways. Update 3. That was 3 months ago. We haven't spoken since. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she's in therapy, working through her people-pleasing tendencies and why she let her friends influence her so much. Good for her. Genuinely. I've been dating again. Nothing serious yet, but I'm meeting people who respect what I do and don't try to change me into some corporate clone. It's refreshing. Last week I ran into one of her friends, not the ringleader, but someone from the periphery of that group. We were at the same restaurant, different tables. She came up to me as I was leaving. Hey, can I talk to you for a second? I tensed. Sure. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how we treated you. We were judgmental and cruel and you didn't deserve it. Thanks. That means something. I'm not friends with most of them anymore, including the main girl who was so hard on you. Turns out she's like that about everything and everyone. Once your ex stopped coming around, she found new targets. Sounds exhausting. It was. I don't miss it. Anyway, I saw you and wanted to clear the air. You seem like you're doing well. I am. Finally. Good. You earned it. She left. I sat in my car for a bit, processing that interaction. Felt like a chapter truly closing. Update 4. It's been 6 months now since I left that apartment. My freelance business is thriving. I hired an assistant to help with admin work, raised my rates, started being more selective about clients. All things I'd been too insecure to do before, worried about appearing unsuccessful or unstable. Turns out when you're not constantly defending your career choices to people who don't understand them, you have more energy to actually excel at your career. I heard through someone that my ex got promoted at work. Good for her. I also heard she's dating someone new, someone from her company, same level of corporate structure she craved. I felt nothing hearing that. No jealousy, no regret. Just a mild acknowledgement that we're both moving forward separately. One thing I've realized over these past months, that relationship was dying long before the dead weight comment. It was dying every time she laughed at her friends' jokes at my expense. Every time she compared my flexible schedule to her rigid one and found mine lacking. Every time she introduced me to people and I could hear the apology in her tone. The comment was just the moment I finally heard what had been said in silence for a year. I'm dating someone now, have been for 2 months. She's a photographer, so she gets the freelance lifestyle, gets the feast or famine income cycle, gets the freedom and the stress and the satisfaction of building something yourself. We met at a gallery opening, bonded over our shared understanding of creative work. Last week, she met some of my friends. Afterward, one of them pulled me aside and said, "She's really into you. Like she lights up when she talks about your work." It was such a simple observation, but it hit me. Because my ex never lit up talking about my work. She tolerated it, explained it, excused it, but never celebrated it. That's the difference. That's what I didn't know I was missing. Update 5. It's been 9 months now. Almost long enough that the relationship with my ex feels like it happened to someone else. I've moved into a better apartment, 1 bedroom with actual space. My business partner, the assistant, became a partner, and I are looking at office space. The work is steady and fulfilling. Last month I got an email from my ex. Subject line, "No response needed, just needed to say this." The email was long. She'd apparently been working with a therapist on understanding her patterns, how she'd been seeking validation from her friends since college, how she'd never developed a strong sense of self separate from the group, how she'd projected her own insecurities about success onto me. She apologized again, said she'd learned a lot about herself and didn't like everything she'd found. Said she hoped I was doing well and that she thought about our relationship sometimes as a cautionary tale about losing sight of what matters. The last paragraph stuck with me. "You were right that night, when you said I wanted someone who matched my energy. I did, but I'd defined energy as ambition that looked like mine, success that looked like mine, drive that looked like mine. I couldn't see that you had all those things, just in a different form. You matched me better than anyone has before or since. I was just too influenced by people who didn't matter to see it. I read it twice. Felt sad for her more than angry. She'd lost something real because she couldn't trust her own judgment. That's a hard lesson. I didn't respond to the email like she'd asked, but I did think about it. About how easy it is to lose yourself in other people's opinions. About how insidious social pressure can be. About how much courage it takes to trust your own experience over the crowd's consensus. Final update. It's been a year now. I barely think about her anymore except when something reminds me, like writing this. The relationship has become a data point in my history, not an open wound. I'm still with the photographer. We moved in together last month. It's easy in a way my previous relationship never was. We respect each other's work, support each other's goals. Don't let outside voices dictate our internal reality. Her friends like me, my friends like her, but more importantly, we like each other independent of anyone else's approval. I ran into my ex one last time, at a professional event downtown. We were both there networking, saw each other across the room. She waved, I waved back. That was it. No lengthy conversation, no rehashing the past. Just two people who used to know each other, acknowledging presence and moving on. I think that's the best possible ending. Not dramatic, not bitter, just over. The thing about the dead weight comment that still gets me sometimes is how efficiently it cut through everything. Years of relationship reduced to 2 words that exposed a fundamental lack of respect. In some ways, I'm grateful she said it. Saved me from wasting more time in a relationship that was already dead. She wanted someone who matched her energy. I wanted someone who respected mine. We both have that now, just not with each other. The friends who convinced her I was inadequate? I heard that group imploded. Too much toxicity, too much competition, too much judgment. They scattered to new friend groups, new cities, new lives. The ringleader apparently has a reputation now as someone difficult to maintain friendships with. Karma or just consequences, depending on how you look at it. I think about that night sometimes, standing in the bedroom packing my bag while she cried and asked why I wasn't fighting for us. The truth is, I was fighting for me. Fighting for my right to be enough as I was, fighting for my dignity, fighting for a future where I didn't have to constantly prove my worth to someone who'd already decided I was lacking. Then "don't carry me" was the best thing I ever said in that relationship. It took the power away from her and her friends, gave it back to me. Let me walk away with my head up instead of begging to be seen differently. One of her friends saying, "Now you can finally date someone worth your time," right after I left was perfect. It showed my ex exactly what kind of people she'd been taking advice from, what kind of toxic environment she'd been marinating in. Sometimes people need that stark moment of clarity to see what's been obvious to everyone else. I hope she's happy now. I hope she learned to trust herself. I hope she found friends who build her up instead of tearing down everyone around them. I genuinely do. But mostly, I hope she learned that letting other people define your relationships is the fastest way to destroy them. As for me, I learned that walking away with dignity beats fighting for scraps of respect every single time. I learned that the right person will celebrate your path, not compare it to others. I learned that dead weight says more about the person saying it than the person they're describing. And I learned that sometimes the trash takes itself out. You just have to be willing to let it go.